everyone. Today we will learn about dihybrid cross. Mendel, as we know, he is called as the father of genetics. In the mid-19th century, he worked on garden pea plants and studied their inheritance pattern. Mendel, he took variety of pea plants showing 7 pairs of contrasting features. Contrasting, that is alternative features for a particular character. His findings are now called as Mendel's laws of inheritance. In our last class, we have already discussed about the two types of inheritance pattern that was studied by Mendel. One was inheritance of one gene, which is called as a monohybrid inheritance, and the another is inheritance of two genes, which is also called as dihybrid inheritance. We have already discussed about monohybrid cross in detail in our last lecture. You can follow the link given in the description box. Today we'll learn about the inheritance of two genes, that is dihybrid cross. A dihybrid cross is the cross between two breeding lines by taking two features together. In a dihybrid cross, we'll be considering two features at a time. Two pair of genes are involved. Of course, when we are talking about two features, then there are going to be two pair of genes involved in that features expression. Example, a cross between tall and purple flower bearing pea plant with dwarf and white flower bearing pea plant. Many more examples could be here, so for now we'll be taking one of them. So let's begin with dihybrid inheritance. As the name itself says, in dihybrid inheritance we will be considering now two features of a plant. Mendel, after working on a monohybrid cross, studied and worked on a dihybrid cross. Now his interest shifted from a monohybrid inheritance pattern towards a dihybrid inheritance pattern. Now he wanted to study about two characters at a time. He considered the two characters which are present in a pea plant. He crossed two pure breeding plants. Pure breeding plants are those plants which are homozygous for a particular trait. Either both have to be dominant or both have to be recessive. In today's class, we will be considering two characters. One is the seed shape and another is the seed color. So the variants of seed shape are available in two forms, round and wrinkled, and the variants of seed colors again are available in two forms, yellow and green seed color. Before starting with the actual dihybrid cross, let's first quickly discuss about the various genotypic symbols that we'll be using to build that cross. So, we'll be using capital Y for yellow seed color and small y for green seed color. You must now know why we are using this capital and lowercase letters. The capital letter, it denotes the dominance of particular trait, and the lowercase letter denotes the recessiveness of that trait. Second that we have taken is the shape of the seed. So round shaped seed will be representing with capital R, and wrinkle shaped seed will be representing with a lowercase or small r. So the genotype of the parents that we are going to take in the cross are going to be, for parent 1, capital R and capital Y, and for parent 2, small r and small y. I need not to tell you now why we are using both as dominant and both as recessive, because we have taken the pure breeding lines, or we can say true breeding lines. So we'll be considering both as either dominant or both as either recessive. This is a dihybrid cross. Here we are going to take two parents, or I can say we are going to take true breeding lines. One being yellow and round seed pea plant, and another being green and wrinkled seed pea plant. We now know that these are pure breeding lines, so we will be representing with homozygous alleles, that is both capitals or both smalls. So these are the genotypes of the parents that we have here. If I talk about their gametes, you know that gametes are produced by the process of meiosis. So capital Y and capital R are going to give gametes as capital Y and capital R, whereas small y and small r parents are going to give gametes as small y and small r gametes. If we cross pollinate these two gamete plants, then we are going to get the F1 generation. So the genotype of the F1 generation is going to be heterozygous dominant, as you can see here. And simultaneously the phenotype of this F1 generation plant is going to be yellow and round seed pea plant. Yellow because it is having at least one dominant allele with it. Round because it is having one dominant allele with itself. After this, Mendel self-pollinated the yellow and round seed pea plant. What he did was he took one yellow and round seed pea plant and selfed it with another yellow and round seed pea plants. So let's see about the gametes in this case. So these are the parents that were selfed by Mendel. After selfing, the gametes that now we'll be getting here are going to be somewhat like this. Capital Y and capital R as one gamete, capital Y and small r as another gamete, small y and capital R, and at last the last combination that we can have is small y and small r. This is nothing but a simple permutation combination that he used to derive all the possible gametes for the F2 generation. So after this, he plotted the gametes in Punnett square to find out the genotype and phenotype of the offsprings. We can now write the gametes of parent 1 as capital YR, capital Y lowercase r, lowercase y capital R, and both lowercase y and r, and we can repeat the same for parent 2. After knowing the gametes of both the parents, Mendel plotted both of the gametes on Punnett square. On one side, he put the gametes of one parent, and on another side, the gametes of parent 2 were placed. In the very first case of Punnett square, as you can see here that capital Y and capital R are going to be giving a combination somewhat like this with both capital Y and with both capital R. As we know for this case that when there is dominant allele present in both the characters, so the phenotype here is going to be yellow and round. Same is for the another case that capital Y from one parent is taken, capital Y from another parent is taken. At the same time, small r from one parent is taken and capital R from another parent is taken. Again, the phenotype is going to be yellow and round because it is having at least one dominant allele with itself. So, in the same way, we are going to plot it for every possible offspring. Now, the next thing that we have to learn here is about the phenotypic ratio. So, we know that phenotype is the physical expression of some character. So, now we can see here that physically 9 plants, or we can say 9 offsprings that we are going to get are going to be yellow and round, 3 are going to be yellow and wrinkled, 3 green and round, one with green and wrinkled seed. So these are all the possibilities that we can have if we talk about phenotype. If we wish to write the ratio of the same, so we can write it as 9:3:3:1. Now you know why we have written it like this, because 9 are yellow and round, 3 yellow and wrinkled, 3 green and round, and last 1 is green and wrinkled. So we can represent it with this ratio. If we talk about genotypic ratio, so the all the genes which are present here are representing the genotype of offspring. So if you wish to write them, you can, but writing it here is a bit complex, so I'm skipping it for now. Let's move forward with the conclusion. Mendel concluded that out of the 4 types of offsprings which were obtained, 2 were parental combination. If you can recall, the parental combination here was yellow and round seed, also green and wrinkled seed. And also 2 were new combinations. The new combinations are yellow and wrinkled seed, also green and round seed. So 2 are the parental combinations that we got, and 2 are the new combinations. In all dihybrid crosses, the phenotypic ratio is going to be 9:3:3:1. So this is going to be the phenotypic ratio. Reasons for Mendel's success. Why do you think that Mendel studies were a main and major success of that time? Because he concentrated on 1 or 2 characters at a time. He made controlled crosses and kept a careful numerical records of the results. These numerical records were difficult for his fellow workers to understand, but Mendel kept them. He suggested that factors are the cause of character transmission. At the last, the selection of pea plant was a very wise choice by Mendel. As in pea plant only, there are going to be 7 alternative characters which we can find. Some important questions are given for you all. Also, there are topic-wise worksheets available. Kindly leave a comment in the comment section if you wish to avail the same. In the next module, we will learn about law of dominance. So don't forget to like, subscribe and comment below. Also hit the bell icon so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you.